All right, we are doing it live. Here we are. Welcome back, everybody, to another Tuesday night Hobo Cup action. It's Hobo Night in America, baby. Ready for some racing here at the Tricky Triangle in my home state, Keystone State here, Pennsylvania. This is going to be a pretty unique challenge. I mean, albeit the most unique challenge happened last week at Papyrus Motorsports Park, but hey, we're back to the real stuff and the real racetracks that NASCAR Circuit goes to, and tonight it is indeed 3 turns of mayhem for 70 laps. Yeah, I don't know what to expect, honestly. But what I do expect is that we're going to be having some fun tonight. I do have, of course, my co-host who has just stepped away for just one momento. But he'll be back in a moment. And, of course, already good to see Matt in the chat already. And, of course, my co-host there as well. I guess I just kind of spoiled who it is, but it is Zach Rogers. Will be joining me in the booth here as soon as he returns. And I know he can hear me because of his Bluetooth headset. So, hi, Zach. And yes, he was beautifully serenading me before the scream began. It was absolutely magical. So, qualifying currently underway. Here at Pocono, like I said, 70 laps on tap, a little bit longer than the race that we had this past Sunday night over at Fast, which of course was won by Mr. Zach Rogers. I was mega exhausted, so that stream proved a little interesting, but hoping to be on my A game tonight. And as always, just having fun with everybody, bringing you guys some good racing, and just chilling out on a not so chill day here in America. Goodness gracious, is it still toasting outside? I think Zach is back.
Hi. Yes, wireless headset and Bluetooth are not the same thing. I have a wireless headset. Sorry, had to. But yes, we are here at the Tricky Triangle, a track with 3 unique corners based on different racetracks. You've got turn 1 banked at 14 degrees based off of the now defunct and I believe bulldozed Trenton Speedway that was located in New Jersey. Then you got turn 2 banked at 8 degrees. Everybody knows it's based off of Indianapolis. And last but not least, you've got turn 3, the flat 6-degree banked corner based off of the Milwaukee Mile. All in all, it's a 2.5 mile tri-oval. And the main attraction is a main front straightaway, 3,700 feet long. Here tonight, you'll see drivers go from about 150 miles an hour in turn 3 all the way up to just shy, if not at 200 miles an hour going off into turn 1 as we see our first lap times on the board here for qualifying. 2 drivers far above the rest, and they are Caleb Lingle, who's looking to get maybe pole number 8 on the year, as well as last week's winner, Jeff Stekenis, both in the 50.1 bracket. Harry Codian currently in 3rd, as we see Kilojoules currently in 4th. As the running order is continuously being updated, we'll wait until we believe everyone has run their laps here. Now, Pocono, if you're lucky, Andrew, you can make a second lap here, and it may or may not be a couple hundredths faster than your first, depending on if you maybe made a small mistake or you just improved. But you got to get a little lucky, because with 100 tape in my test run, both the oil and water were all the way maxed out off of turn 1 on the second lap. So you got to get lucky and hope your engine survives to finish that second lap. Otherwise, you want to go as hard as you can off a pit road on your out lap to get the tire temps up, and then you just hit your marks on that first lap. as we are concluding qualifying here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it to Caleb Lingle for the 8th time this year, a 50.163. And not to brag, but I did run a 49.973 in testing.
Yeah, this guy's good. In case I haven't said it before, this guy's good. But someone else is good. Caleb Lingle, gosh darn it, he has done it again. On pole, like you said, the 8th time. Qualifying this season has been pretty much just a shoot between 3 different drivers, Caleb being one of them, Herman Reese and Keith McLean being the other 2. Keith not here tonight, though. He's
On a
living
boat.
it up out on a cruise. Oh, yeah. He's on a big boat. So, Heck Daddy, we're thinking of you, man. We miss you, but hey, go enjoy it. You deserve it. But yeah, that's pretty tight there between those top 2. Caleb Lingle, Jeff Stacanis only 200ths off of him. 50.163 for Caleb, 181 for Stacanis, and then they are both about half a second clear of everybody else. Steve Grant in 3rd, Harry Kodian, Wiley King, the top 5. Kodian and King only separated by 2 thousandths. If you would like to go through the rest of the top 10, Zach?
Absolutely. Yes, we've got KJ in 6th, who did not qualify for this race last year. He is your defending race winner here at the Pocono Raceway. Row 4 has got Jason San Diego and Eddie Rayleigh with, where is he on these point standings, man? They move around so much. Man, I can't find them. Where'd he go?
Rayleigh is 10th.
Oh, there he is. Yep. Okay, 2 wins on the year for Rayleigh. Row 5, you got Ken Hansen and Fugate. In row 6, you got Steve Rubino, the man himself, alongside Duke Sorensen. Row 7, Ricky Bumbalo and the other Rubino, Dan Rubino. Row 8, you got Irv Johnston and the 81 of Troy Donahue. Shout out to Troy for tonight's race. Row 9, you got Ryan Johnson, our Buffalo Wild Wings friend, along with Rick Castle. And in row 10, last one to set a lap time, the 10 of Randy Smith. And then Bob Gibson slotted there in 20th, did not set a lap time. Rest of your starting lineup here in this 25-car show is Charlie Trusty, Monty Keller, Greg Stenzo, Herman Reese, and Mark DeSenza. I'm not sure. I thought Herman set a time there, but I'm curious if he opted to DQ himself to maybe hope for a freestall in, and maybe potentially, depending who has trouble, a freestall going out. Andrew, as you know, Pocono speed limit is 55. So now what that does is if you don't have, depending where your pit stall is, you might not hit pit road speed exiting. Now you might think, that's not too bad. That means you can just full throttle out. Well, if we somehow get to green flag pit stops tonight, you will be at a minor disadvantage depending on how your first gear is set up. When I was doing my testing coming out of the first pit stall, I was hitting with my gearing just about 40, 30, 37 or so miles an hour at the yellow line, which, these guys are lucky that it's the yellow line here. On game version, it's right there at the stall, and you lose. If you have one of the first 5 pit stalls, you lose time on game Pocono. Here, it's only really going to affect, I believe, Caleb and Jeff, and as I said, depending on their gearing, that may affect them, give or take a few tenths, but I mean, it won't hurt them too much here because there is about a second to 2 seconds of tire fall off, depending how these guys drive their cars. Now, you want to have a lot of spring on the right rear. You want to have weight towards the rear, and you want the caster to be driving the car itself. My setup, it's a 6 on the left front and a -2 caster on the right front. And what that does is it basically points both wheels to the left, and the car essentially drives itself through the corner. So you're going through the corner, Andrew, you're basically just holding the wheel as straight as you can, because if you turn to the left at all, you're basically just making yourself tight and you're causing oversteer. But if you hold it straight, the car is just driving itself through the corner. Now, What I find myself doing on the straightaway is I'm turning 45 degrees to the right to keep it straight.
Oh, I don't know if I could manage something like that. But as we are just about to get this party started here, as the final few seconds are starting to wind down, Zach,
That
I
is
will.
Bulldog's pre-race info dump.
No, that's perfect. I mean, hey, that's why we love having Zach up here. I mean, he does the work. I just do the commentary. No, I'm just kidding. But I will ask you this though. With these three very unique corners, obviously, as you said, if you want the lap time, you got to nail them each. But as far as tuning the car, kind of like you said, is there a corner that you tend to favor? Kind of how you wanted to drive in, and I guess meaning that might sacrifice the other two corners. I don't know. Is there one that you might favor in that regard?
I think if there's a corner you're going to sacrifice, it's turn two, because turn two is the fastest corner, which means you're not gaining or losing a ton of time if you sacrifice a mile an hour or two through that corner, because it's also the corner with the shortest straightaway on exit. You know, turn two to turn three is the shortest straightaway, so you're not going to sacrifice much. In fact, turn two is the one corner where, for me at least, I'm not downshifting the third gear. You know, you might see a lot of guys. I feel like you should absolutely be shifting down to third gear for turn three. Turn one, you know, you can kind of get away with not having to downshift the turn three, especially if you want to run maybe an extra lap on fuel. That'll be a big factor. Our fuel mileage, 18 to 20 laps, depending on how these guys drive their cars, how they shift. So, to answer your question on setting up for the corners, I want to set it up to where it is loose enough for me to handle it through turn three, because turn three has the least amount of banking. If you can set your car up to be as loose as it can be through turn three, then it's going to be great through turn two, and it's going to be fantastic through turn one, because those are the corners with the more banking.
Gotcha. So good to know. Something to watch out for. Full field is on the grid and ready to go. As you said, 25 drivers here tonight. Another stellar field. Don't think these guys have ever dipped below the 20 mark this season, which is always cool to see. And we are officially rolling for a rather lengthy pace lap.
Now, I will say, to lead into that point,
Go for it.
these guys have a habit lately of having at least 10 cautions a race. Now, I'll tell you right now, I don't think any of these guys want to spend upwards of 45 minutes pacing tonight, because that's what will happen. This is 70 miles an hour around a 2.5 mile track. It is going to take 2.5 minutes per pace lap. And if you have guys go a lap down, you're adding a lap. These guys don't take laps away like we see a couple of leagues be able to do. They don't have that command set up for their server. So they are stuck. They are stuck with what could be 2, 3, 4 pace laps. So if you have a lot of cautions here tonight, which Pocono can tend to be one of those tracks, these guys are going to be pacing more than they are racing. And that can be frustrating when you're behind the wheel. And as I have said off broadcast, I will say now on broadcast, it will be frustrating for me, because I'm stuck here sitting watching you pace at 70 miles an hour too, and you could be going 190 and racing, man. So come on, let's get a good race here. These guys know how to get it done. They can get some green flag racing in here. It doesn't just have to be, as Steve likes to say, the 5-lap dash.
Zach is bringing the fire tonight. I love it. These guys bringing the fire here to Pennsylvania. Pocono Raceway. Caleb Lingle, Jeff Stakanis. You're on the front row, and they are racing here for the 19th race of the season.
That outside line is going to be pretty dominant here, Andrew. This track is a little similar to the track you saw at Fast on Sunday. I think it might be more or less around the same geometry build with cameras and the like. So, outside line is going to be key to defense here tonight, especially with the extra speed these guys are running. Like, it is going to be hard to make a pass on the inside. This is more of a drive the track, don't race your competitors type of thing.
Oh my. We were on TV too. They're looking up the straightaway there, and we saw some trouble almost at the back. We're going to see trouble in front here. Jason San Diego. Sideways. Another one spinning is Dan Rubino. There's the early yellow. That's a hit.
Monty Nickum and Herman Reese around at the back too.
You want to talk about a driver that was hot for a while and has really cooled off lately. Not a lot of it through his own doing. Of course, last week, the tragic engine blown.
Herman was hitting the brakes, and he just got run into by the 51 of Stenzo. Just a little harmless spin. Shouldn't be any rear end damage. Brandy Smith also looped it at the very back. I mean, that's like one of the worst corners, to have an accident happen at the front of the field, because everyone's going to try to slam the brakes to miss the accident, and it's the flattest corner. So when you do that, you're going to see a lot of guys self-spin behind the initial cause.
I need to fix this. This is not acceptable at this rate. Every race, this happens.
Oh, it's your game crash?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I'll give guys the radio call here of the replay. And, Jason San Diego actually did a really good job here. So he goes off into turn 3. He's side by side with Wiley King. And he just gets like an inch too high, gets it into the outside wall. And when he comes off the wall, it spins around. Now the rear end hit the wall flush even, and then the car straightened itself back out. But then you had Dan Rubino spinning out, just going as low as he could to miss it. You had, of course, Herman, who got run into by Stenzo. And then Randy was even further back, and he just he did the same thing. He panicked a little bit and hit the brakes, and it just drove the car down into the grass on him.
Pit Road 1 is very loud with the crowd noise. My goodness.
You see a good number of guys pit here who either spun or just know that they don't really have the track position right now. As I mentioned, there is about 1 second to 2 seconds of fall off depending on your starting pace and your setup. As I said, I have it set to where it drives heavy off the right rear, but even that didn't stop me from my test run where I was pushing it almost as hard as I wanted to go every corner. That didn't stop me from burning the right front tire off more than the right rear. So it gets tight. And like Sunday night, Andrew, of course, different from fixed setup to open, but just like Sunday night, it gets tight right at the last 5 laps of a run. That's when you hit the cliff and you're like, oh, shoot, I can't go like as fast as I want to anymore. And I'll kind of explain what that looks like. I was doing 180 through turn 2 at the beginning of my run. Around halfway, I was still able to do about $1.75, and then like not even 3 laps after like halfway, next thing I know, I can barely hold 170 through turn 2 because the right front hits that cliff and you lose all front turn.
Yeah, I do remember seeing a few guys, like the cliff really hit them hard, and it was like guys were keeping up, and then all of a sudden they just dropped back like rocks. So keep that in mind for tonight as well. Like you said, a similar enough version, of course, this being 2012 FSE, is the particular version that these guys are running. Similar enough, as you said, to what you guys ran, but not quite the same. So.
Well, obviously, they're also going a lot faster. I feel like the grip levels are very similar, but they're going a lot faster here because it's open setup, and you're able to set the car up how you want. At Fast, we had a pretty snug setup, so we were only able to really run like 51 fours for race pace. These guys are running almost a full second faster for race pace. So, but that cliff acts kind of the same, and this is realistic damage. You do not want to smack the wall coming off of turn 2 here. That's going to be the corner where you're going to see guys, I think, mostly smacking the wall off of. It's going to be turn 2. You might see a few guys off turn 1 and maybe turn 3, but I feel like turn 2 is the corner because you go into the corner and you get to the center and you think, oh yeah, like I'm good. And then you go to slam the gas down and it gets tight. Next thing you know, you're trying to like just lift the throttle a little bit so that you don't hit the wall, and you might do that. And next thing you know, you're going to get spun down to that little death wall that's down there off of turn 2, and you hit that thing, you're done.
And potentially a few others as well once you bounce into them. We'll watch out for that tonight. We almost had a moment of that earlier, but
yeah, if the field is lucky, the guy, if someone does get spun down to that inside wall of a turn 2, if the field is lucky, he'll just get stuck in the wall because there is a tendency to get stuck in that inside wall down there off of turn 2. But otherwise, yeah, you're just going to bounce straight back up into the field, which Maverick ran this track a couple of years ago, and that very thing happened. Someone wrecked off of turn 2, went down to that inside wall, and bam, they came right back up the track.
Pretty sure that was on JTN, if I recall correctly.
That is a race killer. Yes, I was quite fired up in my interview for that one. I managed to get 3rd with engine damage in that race, and I was like, I am him kind of interview. I was like the I don't know if anyone really remembers it, but there's a Kyle Busch interview from Charlotte Trucks one year. This was like a while ago, and in his post race, he got, I forget if he did win or if he got second. I think he won. So he won the race, but in his post-race press conference, he was like, the team sucked, the truck sucked, the package sucked, but somehow, some way, I won the race. And that was
pure talent.
Kind of what I am. Yeah, he's like, by pure talent, I still did it. So that was kind of what I was thinking of during that Maverick race after, I got 3rd with engine damage.
I know the exact interview that you're talking about. Basically said, pure talent, that's about it. My team did nothing for me. My truck drove like, another word for crap. He actually did swear, and I remember that. And said you can't drive within 5 truck lengths of anybody.
Yeah, he said you couldn't pass, but he's like, somehow, some way, I made it back to the front. And I was just like, damn, mic drop right there.
The vibe of, like, I could so easily hear you doing that, honestly. Especially after a race like that.
Now, I will say, since I'm feeling good tonight, I will say this is the time of the race where you have conversations like these. We are pacing for 4 laps under caution. It's 8 minutes of just, what do you talk about? I mean, the wreck only takes 2 minutes to talk about. So you got to talk about something for the next 6 minutes. Versus these guys go green. I'm going to talk about the action. I'm not going to talk about no willy-nilly stuff. I'm going to talk about the action.
Me and Josh Chu had to find a lot of stuff to talk about at Papyrus, I will admit. That was,
You save it for the yellows, though. Don't talk about it during green.
You do save it for the yellows.
If there's a pass for the lead under green and you're too busy talking about some gibberish, then what are you doing?
I think I know what I'm going to end up talking about, but we're going to get there on the next caution if we get another caution. Caleb Lango going to lead these guys back to the green flag here. Lap 6 of 70. 1:13.31 still first and second. Harry Kodian, Steve Grant, KJ, the current top 5. As we head back into turn 1 once again. I do think at turn 3, I know you were saying that you really want to tune that, or tune the car to be really loose in that corner. I feel like that's probably going to be our trouble spot throughout the night will be turn 3.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I know I have plenty of experience there.
I believe we had from Jason San Diego on back pit, so I believe that was the top 16, I believe, that stayed out.
We're navigating through so far. Everyone pretty orderly up here in about the top 10. Here we go into the interesting spot here. Steve Grant getting a little close there with KJ. That's 4th and 5th.
Oh, Mark descends is around and he's in the grass. He's going to come back up
the track. Money!
Keller, nowhere to go.
Trusty also in
involved.
it.
Oh, Herman.
Herman is in it. 33 is torn up and instantly retired.
Yeah, he done. Herman is gonna get back
Slowly
going, but I
rolling.
think he had a moment of what the heck.
Yeah, yeah. It's as I was gonna just mention before my game took a poo poo. Um, that his luck in these last several races. I mean, he had the engine blown up for fires. He got involved in an accident at Michigan. I think even Nashville, he wasn't really running like stellar. He was running good, but by his standards, it was like sixth, seventh, which isn't quite the speed that we're used to out of that 73. And now
Oh
this.
man, that's just. Mm. He got a good corner entry. He sent it in there pretty good. Got to the inside of Rick Castle, got by him, and then he was getting to the inside of Irv Johnson, and I don't know if he. It looks like maybe he was anticipating contact with Irv, and he went to turn to the left to avoid contact, and
Ooh,
the car just turned down to the apron on him, and away he went.
yeah,
And
he
then
really got in there well, and
Monty couldn't do anything. It was too late for Monty to hit the brakes there. And let's see, Herman just slammed the brakes, and it instead of it just stopping his car, it drove him all the way down right into the wreck.
now is that's something else that I'll ask you because if these guys, and I'm sure Herman knows this trick too. You were talking about a lot of caster. Is that something else that like once you hit the brakes, the car's just going to want to pull that way?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, if you full lock the brakes, which it looks like Herman did, it looked like Herman just slammed the brakes to miss the wreck because there's a moment here where through the smoke, you can just see Monty sideways hitting the 33, and then the 43 is up there and he gets into it too. And in that split second, Herman's just kind of jabbing the brake. And instead of it helping him just stop, and he would have ultimately just driven straight through the middle and missed this, it turned his car dead left right into the path of the 33 spinning back down the track. And, he only hit him going 70, but it's realistic damage, and that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can actually ride on board with Herman here on pit road and see if I can count the seconds.
It looks like everyone, at least up here in among about the top dozen, have stayed out.
Oh wow, he did not have to fix any damage really.
Oh,
He got
nice. Okay.
he got lucky.
Good news there. Those front impacts are always, like, even unrealistic. So hit or miss. Sometimes it'll kill you, sometimes you'll clobber someone and you'll be fine. The
Let's see.
joys of NR physics.
Monty Keller had 20 seconds of repair.
And Trusty's just now coming off. I still see some buckling on that hood.
Yeah, that damage ain't going anywhere. But so 20 seconds from Monty. Herman got lucky that there wasn't more damage there, because usually when your car just stops like that, it's usually pretty big. See Charlie Trusty, if we can get a read on his damage level. He had some front end damage as well.
Yeah, I think he got the worst of it with Monty coming up the track. Once you pinch a car between another car and the wall, ooh, physics don't like that. That will usually tear
Yeah,
it up pretty good.
that's how you get the engine damage, is when you get squeezed into the wall and the door. That's the worst.
Randy Smith coming back down there. Some other guys at the back, including Donahue. Caleb Winkle
Oh
still
yeah,
leading this thing.
the 43 had, I think, 40 or so seconds of repair time there.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well,
I think his pace will be suffering.
This has not been the race Herman has wanted to have. He had the speed in practice. He's your points leader coming in, and right now, even though there is a chase reset coming up here in about a month or two, you still want to win that regular season championship.
Yeah.
And I believe Jeff missed a week and he got a provisional, but that's still through the standings. So, it's mainly right now between Herman, Steve, and Ryan Johnson. And Charlie Trusty has called it a night. I think he might have seen how much power he had when he came off pit road the first time. And, you usually get a pretty good feel of what your car's going to drive like. And Charlie decided that, nah, I'm good. This thing's toast. And
Yep.
that's the way it goes with the realistic.
Yep. Natural symptom of that. But and I feel that even if I'm going for points, it's very rarely worth just putzing around out there like that. That is just frustrating. So a tough break for Trusty. A tough break for a lot of those guys. Even Monty Keller, who even if he's still going, maybe suffering some damage. We'll see what kind of pace Herman's going to have. I'm just focused right now on Steve Grant here. As you mentioned, he's second in points. He only has that one win at Darlington, which came in very dramatic fashion. But he's actually going to pit here.
Yeah, this might be that he was. I think
he
he might have been.
Oh!
He might have been thinking about a fuel mileage play because like I said before, you can potentially make it 20 laps on fuel. So if he had pit right there, they would have been coming to 60 laps to go. And if it had, by some miracle, with the way this race is trending, gone green from this restart, Steve would have been in a perfect position to make it on 2 more pit stops while everyone else would have had to pit 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Steve was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'll just stay out in 4th.
Yeah, he's probably seeing the trend of things here. But kind of the stat that I was going to mention on him here. He is second in points. He has been inching closer to Herman as of late. And he has done that on just pure raw consistency. He has been very, very solid, finishing top 10 very, very consistently. Again, only that one win, which were one of the most dramatic races you'll ever see. And there he is, second in points, and potential to further eat into that point lead that Herman has. He's been steadily doing so, like I said, with Herman's bad luck lately. That 11 could continue to capitalize on that. Hoping for a good run here tonight to propel him into that position. We will see if that will remain the case. He's 4th at the moment. We're going to be going green with exactly 60 laps to go here.
And, Herman might have 2 more wins than Steve, but the point system is still very consistency rewarding. So, their average finishing positions are right there. Herman's got a 7.56, Steve with a 7.61. And despite the fact that Steve only has 1 win to Herman's 3, Steve has 1 extra top 5 finish. And then when you look at Ryan Johnson, Ryan has 2 wins, but he's also got 14 top 10s. And that is why he is right there, 103 points back.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Ryan Johnson up here at some point. He's not exactly much of a qualifier, but he gets it done in the race as we are back to green flag racing. We'll see what's going to happen this time round. Top 5 remain unchanged. Also,
make
just
it a
taking a
lap.
look here. Yeah, we'll see if we make it through turn 3 this time. Wiley King is 6. Eddie Rayleigh, Ken Hansen, Steve Rubino, and Hugh Gates, your current top 10 on this restart.
I will say, though, I think if we do get a yellow here soon, I think all these guys will pit. Because they would be in the window to make it on 2 pit stops. It would be, to me, a no-brainer.
That would make a lot of sense. So we'll see what happens here. We're going to come into the troubled corner. Kind of cycle through the field, see what we're looking at.
Looks like everyone's just taking it single file here just to make it a lap.
So far, so good. Everybody all clear and good. And Caleb Lingle's already breaking the draft.
Well, unfortunately, everyone stayed in line, so that actually hurt him more than it helped.
Yeah, he went all the way down to the wall, but green flag lap in. Caleb Lingo in the race late. Steps to just the Canis
cold
up the track.
Cold tires, man. You lose that grip, that little bit of grip that you're used to having when they're warmed up.
Here, Kodian had a peak there on the 31. Gonna opt out of that one. Kicking that back end out off of turn 2. Man, that was a cool feeling there. I'm with you. That turn is so much fun to nail. He's up the track. Held on to it. I think yellow is out. No. I saw that incorrectly. Oh my goodness. Caleb.
Yep. I thought it was out for a second too. A lot of yellow around this racetrack.
Yeah, there is. I'm
AJ
seeing them.
to 4th.
AJ around the 11. I'm just still tickled at Caleb getting all the way down to the wall. If we're only on the left we're on. He's doing it again.
He's not really helping himself out much,
No,
as you might think by doing that.
we're just having some fun.
That could be a little bit of boredom.
I mean, hey, it's just him and Jeff right now. They are getting away from the 13, who again, great save. Still managed to hold on to third. Here we go back into the corner again. Tires getting up to temp here. We maybe should start to help these guys out a little bit. Just watch that apron.
And now the yellow is out.
Uh-oh. What do we got here?
Dan
Oh,
Urbino.
Dan. That's off 2. Looks like not seeing much damage.
Oh, so he actually did something that I was going to allude to at some point, and so I'll allude to it now. The little white curbing in turn 2, if you clip that, you are likely going to go around.
Oh, yeah, but just unload the car.
Oh, no, wait. That was more so Dan checking up for Irv Johnston. He didn't even really touch the curbing. Irv slowed up suddenly at the exit of turn 2, and Dan checked up. And, as I said, the caster, a lot of guys might be running that caster split. And that's another thing. If you have to check up suddenly, it's going to turn you hard left all the same as if you slam the brake pedal. So that is what happened to Dan. Harmless little spin, though. He locked it down real quick and good, so he didn't hit anything.
Yeah, so no harm, no foul there. Just, of course, have some track position loss, unfortunately. One more quick glance at this here. Yeah, getting just under the quarter panel there, the 49. The car said, no thanks. Goodbye.
So it's lap 14 here, coming to 15. Even with all the caution laps they've had to save gas, they could maybe make it to 24, 25. I would just pit. Even if someone stays out and you sacrifice the lead, I would just pit here because you're in a position to make it on 2 pit stops from here.
It looks like everybody agrees with you.
We might see a couple of games to lead a lap. I don't know.
Oh, Harry.
Harry stayed out. Now, this could just be to lead a lap because you see Fugate stayed out. You see Randy Smith stayed out. This could just be a game to try to lead a lap because they know they're going to be pacing around here at least 2 or 3 more times.
We'll be keeping an eye on the race off here. At TV2 there. But yeah, most everybody in. You can tell Caleb was playing with them. Caleb's been just having fun so far, breaking the draft. And as you said, maybe hurting himself a little bit more so. There's 2 tires there for Wiley King. Looks like 2 tires for Jason San Diego as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep having these short runs, there's really no point in taking 4 right now. They've barely put any laps on their tires. So, they might have a tiny amount of wear on the left sides, but, ultimately that won't cost them too much grip. And as stated on the pre-race on lap 1, it's going to be hard to pass on the inside here through turns 1 and 2. Really turn 3 is the corner to pass somebody on the inside if you can outbrake them. Turns 1 and 2 is going to be the high side, which you're not going to typically be able to see a lot of guys send it to the outside of somebody unless, there's a mistake. So, yeah, no harm, no foul, taking 2.
Yeah, I feel like turn 2 is probably the corner that you're would like to avoid going side by side at all costs. Just because of how fast you take that corner and trying to keep it underneath the guy without turning the wheel a whole ton. And I think that's kind of what caught out the 44.
Well, as you know, Andrew, if you you sandwich somebody into the outside wall with your car going 170, you guys are likely going to go flying through the air.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that more than once. It's spectacular unless you're on the receiving end of that.
Well, Randy's going to pit, but I am a little surprised that Harry and Fugate are not pitting yet. I'm actually going to take a check here.
I don't know if Fugate would have pitted already. I know Harry definitely hasn't.
Oh, let me see. Harry definitely has not. Fugate has not either. So neither of those guys have pit. think Fugate was maybe hoping Harry would pit so he could get a lap bonus, but I would like to think that you would pit here. I do not see any reason to stay out here because, well, I mean, as long as you have each other's draft, you could stay out here and have to pit under green, and you would stay on the lead lap because of how big this racetrack is. So it's a 51-second lap, and time taken down pit road takes about 40 to 45 seconds. So you can stay on the lead lap if you are at the front when you pit. But you're gonna want draft when you come out. So if these guys were to do that, as long as they come out together and they get in draft, even if, say, Harry or Fugate came out like half a second ahead of the other, just lift and let the guy just barely get in your draft, and then you guys are drafting together and you're saving a couple tenths there. But this early in the race, I would just pit.
No. I think in their ideal world, the perfect scenario for them, I think, would be that this race goes maybe 5-6 laps green, maybe, and then that would probably put everybody else in a window that they'd probably look to pit again, so that would be my guess.
All right, well, it looks like they're going to try to prove me wrong here. Fugate has nothing to lose. He's got 2 wins on the year. He's 5th in the points, but Harry, he sits 14th in the points, just 1 top 5 so far on the year. So lights are off. They will go back racing next time by with 53 laps to go. I am guesstimating that these top 2 can make it to lap 25, and then they will have to pit.
So it will be Harry Codian, Fugate, Wiley King, Paul Soto, Caleb Wingle, and Jason San Diego. Thanks to that strategy on pit road, has gotten himself up into the top 5. KJ actually leapfrog Jeff Stukanis on pit road. That will put them 6th and 7th respectively. Steve Grant, Eddie Rayleigh, Ken Hansen, top 10 for this restart this time around. Herman has gotten himself up to 15th. So we'll try to keep an eye, if we do get a green flag run going here, we'll try to keep an eye on the speed of that 73. So far it looks okay, but obviously we haven't had too many runs to be able to see the full effect. We'll wait and find out this time around. Hopefully so.
I'll tell you what, tire life is looking pretty good on Harry. His fastest lap so far tonight is only a 51.445. Fugate has managed to run a 51.147. Now, I will note, Harry is pacing in first gear. Fugate is in second gear. Fugate is clutching. Harry is not. So I am very curious to see when Harry will pit, maybe compared to Fugate.
I wonder if you'll have to pit a lap earlier. Like you said, if this does go green, I know that those two are probably going to want to pit together.
If you're leading here, you burn an extra lap automatically because you do not have draft.
That's true. I don't know. We'll see how many laps we can get on this run here. It's Harry Codian out front. Another guy, I keep saying, guys that deserve good results and just ain't getting them. Well, that 13 is one of them. Let's see what this strategy will do for him. We are on lap 18. Green flag waving.
The Tyler Mallon lap.
The Melon Boy. Into turn 1 we go. Everybody getting through here. Steve Grant right on the tail of the 31. Pretty close there. Side by side, Duke Sorensen, Ryan Johnson. That is P13. Looks like Ryan will get that spot. Here we go through the ever so fun turn 2. Loose. This is 113. KJ looking on Jason San Diego. Oh, Fugate loose. Washing up the track. KJ just barely gets clear of the 22. And going to get clear of the 9 as well. That is 4th now for the 029. The Michigan winner. Caleb looking on Riley King, and we'll get that position.
Oh, he sent it off in the turn 1, did the 113. Oh,
DJ
Jeff's
looking to
gonna
do the
hit the
same.
wall. Oh, he checked up. He kept it off the wall.
Somehow.
Oh, there is death off of turn 1. Someone is flying
Oh,
through the air, and it's Dan Rubino.
goodness. He is stuck on his side, and Troy Donahue is stuck on his tire. That's a sight. Well, Troy's gonna try to ride him.
Nope.
Or no. And Dan is
Dan's done.
called in the night.
I was watching the TV2 stationary, and right above the caution light, I just saw a black and red car flying through the air. Oh, he hit the tire barrier all the way down off the corner.
Herb Johnston appears to have been the first one to get into trouble. Yeah, he got high and lost it.
My goodness. Dan Rubino missing him.
Oh!
Mark Martined himself into the tires. That was brutal.
That is painful. Oh my goodness. Well, we thought it would be that jut out off of turn 2 that would be the spot to watch for trouble, but boy, I did not think that would happen. He didn't even hit her. He just spun out trying to miss him, and holy moly, that's a lick.
Watch it from the TV2 camera. You just catch it.
Oh, I gotta see this. This will be good.
You just catch it right at the far left side of the screen. You just see a car flying through the air.
Let's see if we get to
TV one's definitely the best angle, but
and
my
there's the
goodness.
smoke. Oh, in the distance there, it's just like, oh, there's smoke, and oh my gosh, someone flipped.
Did you remember to hit your button? Did you hit your button? Because I'm just staring at the
I did.
standby. Oh, you did? Okay. Yep. Stream delay. Never mind. Yeah, so I was looking at TV2, and I just saw death in the background.
Whew. Dan Rubino with the cleanup bill for those barrels.
Well, I am shocked. Harry and Fugate did not pit again.
Oh my gosh, they didn't. These guys have gone 20 laps. Still ain't pitting. Wow.
They might be able to go to like lap 28 or so now with all these yellows.
I'm with you, though. It looks like he's still going around in first gear. That's surprising. But man, is that... I will say, just with the moves that I saw from that 113, that thing looks hooked up. He is going to be dangerous. I mean, he is more often than not. It's another guy that deserves way more success than he's had this season. Only got the one win at Vegas. Somehow. And I'm pretty sure we've talked to him as a podium finisher the last few weeks here, so hoping to do it again. 50 laps to go here, Zach. It's it was turn 1 this time around, but yeah, the tricky triangle is proven to be tricky indeed.
Yes, of course, Andrew. And I mean, this is a very well-known track. A lot of people don't like racing Pocono on NR2003, and you know, one of the main reasons is it's very much like Darlington. It can tend to be a bit of a crapshoot, such as we have seen so far tonight. But you know, on that turn 1 incident, I'm a little surprised that Irv's car spun down the track as quick as it did, because it was holding steady on the outside line. He was running the wider line around the top, and all of a sudden it just shot dead left and went straight down the racetrack. And a bit ironic, you know, the first time Irv checked up, it was off of turn 2. Dan went to his inside, spun out to miss it, didn't hit anything. Well, unfortunately, wasn't so lucky there off of turn 1.
Yeah, both times Dan got involved in something trying to miss the 49. You think Dan's maybe just going to be like No, we're just gonna. I know, obviously, Irving doing it on purpose, but do you think
Well, I'll
Dan's like,
say
well, this is
this.
bad luck?
I'll say this, and I'll say this as nice as I can, because I have no. Everyone here, I'm neutral, right? I'm just a broadcaster doing my job.
Uh-oh.
In the 49 camp, they've got to figure something out with their setups because it seems like every week they are self spinning. So if that was me, I would be frustrated that I am self spinning every week and I'm wrecking myself every week. I'm getting other people involved every week. I would be very frustrated with myself. Um, so I don't know what his setup looks like, what they're doing. But they gotta figure it out. Maybe move a lot of weight forward. I don't know. It just seems to be on corner exit. After like 5 laps or so, and in this case tonight, not even 2 laps. He's having issues getting that car to go straight off the corner. So, um, you know, as a driver myself, I would want to get my mojo, get my setups together a little more stable for me, so that I can finish races and keep my car straight, and so that Dan Rubino is not flying through the air because I spun out in front of him.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Dan Rubino. He joins Charlie Trusty, Mark DeSenza, and Greg Stenzo. Actually, was the first guy out. We totally missed that, but he will finish 25th. Still got 21 drivers on track, all on the lead lap. 23 laps complete here. And it will still be Harry Kodian out front. Still yet to pit, and when he has to pit is going to be a big question mark here at this point.
And Fugate hasn't pit either. Fugate did fall to 5th due to that little bit of tire age. Yeah, I mean, heat cycle tires, you amplified the grip loss because the tires are cold, so they don't stick to the track. And it takes about a lap and a half to heat the tires up to where you want them. So, you go off into turn 3 after pacing for 4 laps. You've got no real temp. Turn 1 kind of gets you a little temp, and then turn 2 gets you a lot of temp, but you're still like 20-30 degrees shy of the level of temperature you want to have that optimum grip here through turn 3.
Fugate restarting 5th here on this restart. Wiley King still holding on to 4th. San Diego is 6th.
KJ's on the track.
Grant, Rayleigh.
Come on, KJ,
and
blink
Hansen.
out. KJ stopped blinking out. I was going to do a little thing. KJ's there, now he's not. KJ's there, now he's not.
Zeronet's on that Stella. Zeronet's on that Stella Aqua, that's for sure.
Every time there's a caution, that 029 starts blinking. It's quite the conundrum to me. Like, why does he blink out under yellow all the time, but never under green? Like, how does his internet know?
Might be some races that maybe you hope for it happening under green. Knowing how good that 029 is. As you said, reigning winner of this race. He's up for 3rd. But still got ways to go here. Green flag. Once again.
You know what it makes me think? I'll say this really quick. It makes me think that somebody in the house is streaming something, and when he's under yellow, he's like, okay, go ahead, press play. And then when he's about to go green again, he's like, all right, you got to pause it until there's another yellow. So that's why his internet fluctuates.
Looking for
Caleb thought about it.
Caleb's thinking about it. KJ thought about it, bailed out of that. Wise move. But now here's where everyone's different braking zones are going to come into effect. It was looking again.
Oh, now KJ's
blinking
under green.
Oh, Wiley up the track.
Oh, Wiley.
Keep it together, brother. Hold on to it so far. Props to him. A few other guys getting a little squirrely there. I think I saw Ken Hansen. But, oh, man, that is a tough break there for King. He is getting
3 wide.
Absolutely swamped. That's 3 wide indeed.
He backed out of it.
Ooh, and that's a cluster of cars. Bumbledoes in that, Ryan Johnson, Duke Sorensen, number of guys. So far, so good. Battle is on. Well, I almost thought we had it on for the race lead there. Jason San Diego around Fugate there for 4th. After that, 22. Trying to get something going after early trouble. And Harry up the track. Here we go. Oh, man, he's sideways.
He's trying to keep all he can out of it, but, you know, that tiny amount of wear is still enough for him to, you know, just that little bit tight.
Yeah. Yeah, newer tires on that 113. Right on his tail.
Caleb's doing everything
There's
he
the
can to
downshift.
get a good run off the corner without running over Harry.
Harry's trying to defend the bottom. And definitely want to do that for turn 2.
Oh, KJ's blinking behind Caleb. I'd be freaking out.
And when does Harry pit? It's got to be like a couple laps from
Steve's
now.
on the wall there off of turn 2. Still straight, though. Yeah, I mean, I would say lap 28, maybe 30, depending how much he's been clutching on the yellow.
He's hoping for a caution. He's probably the one guy who is hoping that we get a caution. Oh, my gosh. Caleb is not letting them have it easy. Well, Ricky Bumbledoe, big trouble there, just fell way back. Saw that at the tail of the field. Kept it straight, though. Still green. Oh, my gosh, he's about to spin him. Gonna get out of the throttle, and KJ's gonna take advantage. Meanwhile, Stakanis on the tail of Fugate. Fugate, yeah, I think he's starting to struggle as well. He's on the same strategy as the 13, as you had said. KJ up to second.
Huge run right here through turn 2. He's gonna make a move for the race lead here into turn 3. Can he send it deep enough? Nope.
Oh, a bigger send there from the 13. Harry is holding on to this with all of his worth. Caleb being very aggressive right on the tail now. The 029 trying to take second place back. Stakanis by Fugate. And a few other guys trying to follow suit back there. Just outside the top 5.
Harry's been running some of the fastest lap of the race. That time he couldn't quite get it to bite through turn 1, and KJ is going to fly by. Caleb now goes to the inside as well. Caleb, though, with no draft help, he might have to wait a corner unless he forces the issue, which that is what he's going to do.
Washing up.
Yeah, Harry left him in the bottom, but you can see just how hard it is to pass on the inside through turn 2. Caleb did not have enough grip compared to the 13 to complete the pass through 2. Now, Harry's still going to go another lap.
Oh, Caleb is spinning! Oh, he saved it.
That's going to be a big cost, though, for Caleb.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be ugly.
He's going to lose a ton of time here. Like, that's the corner you don't want to get loose off of this turn 3, because look at how much he lost down the straightaway. He fell to 9th.
Behind Eddie Rayleigh there, his teammate. Oh, boy. Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out now to try to close in, but...
Oh, Wiley's
man,
blinking in front of Eddie.
And Hansen about to force the issue, going to opt out of that. Ooh, Ryan Johnson taking advantage on the outside.
Meanwhile, KJ is checking out as San Diego to the inside of Harry for second. Fugate is coming into pit road this time for his first pit stop of the night.
As is Harry.
Oh, Harry managed to get down. Yeah, wow.
He stayed ahead somehow. There's Fugate. Boy, that'll be interesting.
I mean,
kind of where they'll emerge eventually.
They are actually right on the cusp here of making it on one more pit stop from this pit stop.
Oh, Jeff! Just about washed up into the 22. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's 41 to go here. They're going to have to stretch it on one of the 2 runs.
That would be interesting. But hey, if it's as you said, if they're able to stick together, get some draft, you never know. You just never know. Just kind of checking 5th on back here at the moment. Wiley King, there's Eddie Rayleigh, there's Caleb. And then Ryan Johnson, Ken Hansen, Steve Rubino are now your top 10. Top 11 are all checked out from Bob Gibson, Rick Castle, Herman Ray still mired back there in 14th. Little 4-car group there. As Ryan Johnson making some moves. Just got by the 113. And moved that 78 up into the 7th position in our favorite paint scheme.
Harry out of pit road in front of Fugate. Doesn't look like he is necessarily waiting. I mean, KJ is only about 5 or so seconds behind them. They do not want to get lapped as they are finally having a good run here at Pocono Raceway, which you love to see it.
Even with everybody still relatively on top of each other here, but closing in on the second half of this race here in a few laps' time. KJ with a pretty good lead there, currently 1.2 seconds ahead of Jason San Diego. And then Jeff Stakanis, who making the peak once again down to the inside. Jeff has been trying pretty hard to try to pass this 22. Steve Grant watching on there in P4. And then a gap back to Wiley King in 5th. So
Herman
out,
currently still stuck kind of where he is in 14th place. You know, he got 2 spots when those 2 pit, but haven't really seen him be able to make much ground since the accident, that second accident where he got front end damage.
Top 5 just changed hands there. Eddie Rayleigh up into that position. Wiley King let him have that one. Maybe going to try to take it back, though. Ryan Johnson still lurking there in 7th, but might lose that spot to Caleb. A lot of battling going on here. Wiley way up. Going to kind of take the nose off of that 78. I don't think Ryan's going to be too thrilled about that. But Caleb's going to get them both.
Caleb needed that. He needed a little help here to get back up to 6th place. A little bit of a 2-for-1. It looks like Wiley might be giving Ryan the line here, not quite letting him go. Looks like he might here, though, off into 3. Yep.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a... Sorry about that. I know Wiley. That's not the kind of move that he wants to make.
Rayleigh a little loose there through 3. That's going to open the door for Linkle.
These 2 are teammates. We'll see if Eddie's maybe going to give him a little slack here.
Probably a lift early here in the turn 1 if I had to guess. And, yep.
Caleb back into the top 5. Oh, he's going to cross him over.
Yeah. Actually, it looked like Caleb sent it into turn 1 a little bit. Eddie, I think, is maybe trying to be the one leading this group. Doesn't want to lose touch of the guys in front. But they have already lost touch with the guys in front. And this is just making them lose it all the more. I mean, this is just holding up Caleb a ton.
Now he's got that spot, and I think he'll be able to hold it pretty good here. Caleb definitely had to, like I said, that thing seems pretty well hooked up, obviously, aside from that one near miss, which got him back in this position. I guess the one saving grace is with this being Cup Physics. I know that the draft will definitely help you by a few tenths, but it's not critical like it would with CTS. With CTS, once you lose touch with these top 4, your race might as well be done, honestly, at that point. So Cup Physics, not so much.
So right now, the 2 guys that pit, they've been running about around half a second or so faster per lap from our race leader now. The rest of these guys were last on pit road at lap 15. Now, they did have a caution or 2 to save some gas, so I would expect these guys to pit no later than lap 40.
Yeah, we saw how long those 2 were able to go with all those caution laps. They were able to go 29 laps. Albeit with, a lot of those being caution laps, but still. These guys were also under those cautions. I think that's, pretty good numbers. So we'll keep that in mind here in these next 5 laps. I think I may seeing, I don't know if that's shifting or some clutches being thrown in there.
If it's a quick bobble, it's a shift. If they dip down and they coast into the corner, that's a clutch.
That was definitely a clutch then. Like, yep, there's the dip. I saw it from the 22 of the shift there. But, those things, it looked like they dogged down into the pavement, so pretty sure that is indicative of the, clutching, which is interesting, considering the fact that, These guys are almost definitely two stopping
Brian
it. Oh,
Johnson's
yeah, here we
coming in.
go.
Yep, here we
Yeah,
go.
Jason San Diego.
Brian Johnson's pitting. Lingo's pitting. Wiley King is in.
Cycle has begun.
Now, I will let you know, Andrew, that this pit road, kind of like the pit road from Sunday, so some of these guys might be able to get away with a little bit. As you see Herman definitely hot pit, aiming for the pit line. So he hot pit the yellow line, and he was down to 55 by the white line.
Checking on through the field at the moment. We'll see who's going to pit this time.
Ken Hansen will be coming in.
Blaine in the chat. No worries, my man. So appreciate you stopping by. AJ looks like he's going to bring it in as well. Race leader. Steve Grant and Justin Kane is staying out. Eddie Rayleigh also in along with Hansen.
There's Steve Rubino, a little aggressive towards the yellow line, but got it woed down quickly.
Sorensen, Ricky Bumbalo coming in there.
So Fugate just passed Jason San Diego off of turn 1. Harry Codian with a pretty good gap over the 22 who just came off of pit road.
Ooh, yeah, I think that they're going to... I feel like Codian's going to have a pretty monster lead here. It's just going to be a matter of how long he's going to be able to hold on to it. With the tire difference, as here comes KJ. Let's see, I'm trying to get to the 13. There he is.
Yeah, Harry
he goes.
Harry has pit so long ago that he has gained so much time. But what you're going to see here as this run goes on is Harry will be a sitting duck as these guys close back in.
Mm-hmm.
You see San Diego already making a move on Fugate for what is currently 3rd place.
Fugate lets him go.
Lingle's going to be hauling the mail here, maybe looking for a move into turn 3. He is not quite close enough.
Steve Grant, Jeff Stakanis on pit road. Jeff actually with a very awkward entry there into his box. Ooh, 113 getting sideways. As here come the 11 and 31 off pit road, side by side actually. Steve will get the upper hand on that one eventually. We'll fall in behind Wiley King. We'll stay ahead of Eddie Rayleigh and Ken Hansen at the moment.
Now, Rick Castle stayed out, so Rick Castle will come into pit road this time by.
Actually, yeah, we still got a lot of guys that are yet to pit. Rick Castle. Irv Johnston, I believe, is still out here, along with Troy Donahue and Randy Smith.
They're all staying out another lap. They probably still have another lap of gas due to their the pace differential. Monte Keller, of course, also staying out as well.
Rick Castle credited with that lap led there.
And Harry's already got KJ coming down the barrel.
Oh, my goodness. You're absolutely... Oh, man, what a lap there from KJ.
That's the fastest lap of the race there from KJ.
Oh, he's going to steamroll him right here.
Yeah, KJ wasting no time getting back to the point.
I don't think Harry's going to do much.
Yeah, Harry's going to fight it. Move KJ back to first. We should see San Diego back to second. Sunu. Harry got the white, and he's going to be in the wall off of turn 2. Mentioned that. Gotta watch the white rumbling. It'll just shoot you straight up the track.
Troy Donahue to the race lead, still staying out.
Not sure if that gave him door damage. Doesn't look like it did. Pretty decent smack. Yeah, so Donahue and Randy Smith have yet to pit. They're down in the 53-second bracket, though, so that is likely why they have been able to keep going.
Man, KJ just ran a lap that was literally within 100th of his fastest. Oh, yeah, he is.
Caleb Lingle ran
really
even
good.
faster. Lingle with a 50.603.
Oh, my goodness, look at that. Man, you get those two racing each other, it looks like that could be a heck of a fight.
Donahue's pitting, I believe, because Randy just drove by him.
Oh, no, Caleb's bouncing off of Jason into the wall. Saves it. Jason's struggling here through turn 3.
3 wide almost off the corner.
Harry's going to power out of that, break the draft, or give it to
and
Caleb, one or the other.
Monty Keller has retired, and it's saying gearbox, so I wonder if he stripped 4th gear since it is a shift-heavy track.
Ooh, that's not good.
That'll leave us with 20 cars on the racetrack, as Donahue did, in fact, pit.
Oh, Harry. Don't know if that was intentional or not. Just about had a Dan Rubino moment. They'll let both guys by.
Really hard, just trying to get by Harry, who's at like a 7-lap tire disadvantage.
Yeah, they got by him finally. Caleb possibly with some door damage.
Caleb's a man on a mission, man. I'll tell you what, he's been hauling the mail here tonight. Looking for what would be his 2nd win on the year.
And deservedly so. Yeah, both of these top
there's a caution. Caution's out.
And, Jeff Stacanis.
Turn 3 got another one.
Rear end is destroyed, and man, it got a big dog there. Well, let's see if that was his own doing or not. Rear end is killed, and yep, he just lost it. Downshift. And stepping out. See you later.
You see, this is a case where there's a couple of instincts you learn for muscle memory when it comes to trying to right a car that is slowly spinning out. So Jeff goes into the corner, and it starts to step out slowly on him. Now, a lot of guys, I don't know what they typically do, but when I get in that situation, I will try to lift off the gas as soon as I sense it and try to jerk the wheel really quickly left and right, and usually I can wiggle it straight. I still lose a lot of time, but usually I can wiggle it straight. In this case, Jeff is just slowly going around, and I'm not sure if he was trying to do the turn the wheel all the way to the left save and get the car to straighten out that way, or if he was just trying to maybe hope it would right itself, and once it didn't right itself, he just locked it down. And when you lock it down, you are basically letting the car, just spin out. You are essentially giving up on trying to save the car, and you're just I'm just going to have to lock it down here and hope the damage isn't too bad. What I will say is he is lucky that he only got rear end damage, but he is also unlucky. If he can, he needs to add 20 pounds of wedge into the car.
Yeah.
Or lower the track bar. If he has a track bar split set up in his car, he can lower the track bar because all his rear downforce is gone now. When someone packs air on the rear of his car, it is gonna be loose on corner exit.
Ooh, here we go.
Steve Grant with a bit of strategy to take the lead.
Everybody's also going to be back on an even ground here.
And they can all make
Harry
it.
And Fugate.
They can all make it on one pit stop.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be able to go to probably about lap 63-ish.
So here's the interesting thing. If you can save a little gas here, you can pit on lap 65 coming to 66, and you can probably get away with half a can as opposed to taking 1 can and doing right side tires. And now why I say that is you will save about 3.5 to 4 seconds. Now, yes, there is a decent amount of fall off, but depending who stays out long with you to take half a can, and if anyone close to you does do the 2 tires in 1 can, you are going to be in a great spot. Now, however, that half can trick is only going to work if everybody tries to run as hard as they can, run as long as they can.
Mm-hmm.
If I ain't going to make it on half a can, what you're going to do is you're going to get to 10 laps to go, and you're going to pit for right sides only and throw a can in, raise your track bar a little bit since you're not going to have full tank of gas. You're going to raise that track bar a little bit and take right sides in a can, and you're going to haul the mail for the last 10 laps of the race. And you are going to make up the time difference to somebody who stays out on old tires and only takes half a can. Looks like we had a couple of guys go back down pit road to top off now, including the 10, 49, and 81. Those guys with the pace they've been running tonight might already be looking to make it on half a can, as we have seen them go a lap or two extra compared to some of the front runners. So they might already be looking good to make it on half a can, pit around 3 laps to go. If they get lucky, they could get a caution after everyone else pits. But I believe, a lot of these leaders might want to come back down, top off, and then they can all make it on half a can, because it'll be a 29 to go restart. On the other hand of the coin, this is usually the part of the race where everyone knows they can make it on fuel, or they can make it on one more stop, and all hell breaks loose.
I was just about to ask you something that it's probably going to sound stupid, but just hear me out, because we saw what the 13 and 9 did. If this turns into a caution fest for the rest of the race, you think these guys are just going to go ahead? I was going to say, you think these guys are just going to clutch it and make it?
You don't have to pit again if it turns into a pace fest to the end of the race. Yeah, correct. You saw Fugate and Harry make it 28 laps on fuel. Like, you will not need to pit again from here if it turns into a one lap.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to pit again.
However, that's the call.
However, if
Steve Rubino just did it. Oh, no, he didn't.
If you get a couple of 2-3 lap runs and you get in the fuel window, I would say you pit and you put 4 tires on it. And that fuel window is only lap 51.
Yeah,
the fuel window is only 5 laps away. So if they go 5 laps and a caution comes out, they're all pitting. No question. They're all pitting. No question.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go 1 lap here and then there's a caution, okay, now you're going to pace and you're going to restart with 19 or 20 to go. Okay, most of the guys are probably going to stay up. If you go another lap, okay, just 1 more lap. Okay, yeah, a lot of guys at the front, they might just stay out and clutch and try to do what those other guys did. Or actually, if I'm Caleb Lingle or Kilojoules fast, I'm probably going to pit on that second stop and top off and then not have to worry about clutching or saving. And I'm just going to be able to go the rest of the race, even if they are only 1 lap sprints. Because I don't know when they do race back. Is it 10 to go?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Yeah, so right now, the field gets frozen. You're hoping if you're hoping to make it from this pit stop, like Harry and Fugate might be, you are hoping that every caution comes out in turn 1. Because you are not using your tires at all. And then once it gets to race back zone, then you are in a great spot because you have not had to use your tires at all. That's why we saw Harry stay in the lead and Fugate didn't, because remember I said Harry's best lap was only a 51.4, but Fugate's was a 51.1. So Fugate had been pushing his stuff harder than Harry was at that point. But we shall see. 24 laps to go.
So many different scenarios. This is going to be wild to see as we are back to racing here. 24 to go. I don't like the sound of that.
Spun out at the back of the field. Ricky Bumbalo got a little wiggly, but they're good.
All good. All okay at the moment. Ryan Johnson, Hound, and Jason San Diego there for 4th. Both these guys, Hound and Steve Grant. Boy, I wonder who's going to make the first move there. KJ's peeking. Not quite going to make that move there into 2. Big send there from the 22. Things so far so good. And here we go. The treacherous turn 3. Especially on these tires. Dropping frames. We don't like that.
Caleb to the inside of Grant for the lead off of turn 3.
Oh,
As
KJ!
KJ gonna make it 3 wide down the front
Oh,
straightaway.
yeah, baby.
Steve's
I know
gonna back
KJ. He's
out.
not going to back out of that. Yeah, Steve. It's a good move. Caution. Oh, it's Jeff again. Oh my gosh, he is torn up. I think I just saw Duke Sorensen going around.
Yeah, I think Jeff's done.
Wow, that's in an odd spot there, like well off exit. Let's see there.
Oh, he got some help. Down the straightaway, no less.
Sorensen just behind Herman Reese here.
Oh, I think Duke lost 4th gear.
Right
That's
behind
what it looks
73.
like. It looks like Duke
Oh!
went to shift to 4th gear and it was just dead.
Yeah, you see, it's just like stutter badly.
Yep. Yeah, you can. He lost 4th gear 100%.
Oh man, that's. And sometimes you just want to throw this game out the window when it pulls crap like that. Oh my goodness.
And Jeff had nowhere to go, and he bounced into the outside wall, right down into the inside wall, front end first.
Already got the tore up back end. And there it is. Ooh, credit to Rick Castle for missing that. Oh man, what a shot. The inside wall there. A couple hard hits that we've seen in this race now.
Okay, so it is 21 to go here, coming to pit road open. Now, a couple things you can do here. You can pit right now, and you can probably clutch yourself that lap or two you need to make it. Or you can stay out. You can risk it. You can try to see if this just, like I said, turns into a pace fest. Now, if you are Caleb or KJ, there are pros and cons. You know you are the fastest 2 cars on track. Now, with Jeff Stekenis, of course, he had the damage already, but Jeff Stekenis absolutely out. These are the 2 fastest guys on track. Now, pro, I know I can make my way back through the field. I'm going to pit here, top off, take 4. Con, I might be 10th on this restart and get caught up in a mess.
Well, here we go. It looks like the majority decision is staying.
They're playing the games.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know a fun story?
What's that?
So, Game Track Pocono, I believe it was 2021. There's a JTN broadcast for this race. Bomb Squad Cup, Pocono. There was a yellow where it looked like we were all going to stay out. We were hovering a little close to the inside wall. This was Game Track Pocono, not this one, but Game Track Pocono. So there was still the wall, but just no tires, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were all hovering like we were maybe going to pit, maybe not. At the last second, KJ behind me and everyone else decides they're going to pit. So me, at the very last second, dropped it to 1st gear and hooked the hard left. And I hooked the hard left, missed the pit wall, and then I had to turn hard right to not turn into KJ. So I pulled it off.
I gotta find this broadcast.
If you find that broadcast, you just hear Joe kind of freak out because it was almost a disaster. But that has to be my proudest pit road entry under caution of all time.
And it was on TV.
And it was on TV, yep.
Oh, I will try to find that at some point then.
Yeah, I think it was the 2nd race in 2021, but I'll have to dig it up for you at some point.
You got it. Well, these guys seem to have made their call, at least for the time being. Caleb Lingle, KJ, yeah.
I mean, you can definitely make it if you pit right here. Oh, a lot of guys are thinking about it. nope, nope.
Nope.
Wait. A lot of them are going in. Nope.
I think I saw Herman, Fugate.
Fugate did.
Yeah,
Yep,
as a group.
Fugate led about the whole second half of the field down pit road right there.
On below Johnson, Smith.
You could take, if you're Fugate or Herman, you could take just 2 right side tires here and fill it up. Herman actually is just going to do fuel only, I think. Oh, no, Herman was too far. Oh, there's contact on pit road with Randy Smith.
Oh, goodness. We're able to get back into the stall. He's not giving him service yet.
Fugate's going to do 4. I think Herman did 4 as well.
Yeah, I think that they're...
Troy Donahue, I think, was the only one who took 2.
I'm sorry. I'm chuckling a bit at the 10. He's still not in. Oh, they're not even giving him service.
He might have done fuel only there. I'm not sure. We'll see. If he has to come back around and pit again, we'll know for sure.
Yeah, he's still got another lap to do it, but... Let's see. Caleb Lingle, KJ, top 2, and the two big dogs at the moment. Steve Grant in 3rd. He is on a couple of old left side tires there. Jason San Diego, how about Jason still keeping it up in 4th place here thus far. Ryan Johnson, P5. And Harry Cody and Wiley King. Andy Rayleigh, Ken Hansen, and the Rubino man. Keeping her up in 10th place thus far.
So our current top 6 have pretty much been the guys up front tonight, with a small exception to Ryan Johnson, who his name must be Kevin Harvick in secret or something, because you don't really see him much at the beginning of the race, but when it comes down to the end, he is always right there.
That does
Guys
not
are still
surprise
hovering
me one
like they're
bit.
thinking about it, and they're all going to pit.
Oh!
Yep. There they go. They saw the second half of the field do it, and now they're all coming in. And you see a lot of guys pitting. Herman Reese just turned back out and stayed out.
Oh, my.
Tell you 3 guys who did not pit at all there: Steve Grant, Jason San Diego, and Wiley King.
This just got turned on its head once again, Zach. Oh my goodness.
KJ did fuel only. Caleb is doing right sides. Harry is doing right sides. Rick Castle took 4. Most guys here did fuel only or took 2.
Steve Rubino's going to jump a few guys, as Troy Donahue.
Now, if you're KJ, you are... he might not be too concerned. But if you're KJ, you're like, man, I wish I at least took 2, because Caleb took 2 and I didn't.
And Caleb's right behind him.
That's not going to be a lot at the current moment of this restart, but that will be a lot later in the run, because we know these guys both have the same pace. For San Diego and Steve, I think they are probably kicking themselves that they at least did not pit to take 2, because tell you what, Fugate pit again to top it off, and he jumped up 4 more spots because he only had to put like half a gallon in the car.
And he's going to be in great shape there. Steve Grant, I mean, and I'm with you. The fact that, I mean, his newer tires are his right side tires. He's on much older lefts. Oof, I don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in. I mean, obviously, Steve Grant, he's a great, consistent driver. He's usually pretty quick, but I don't know if that's going to be much to stand up against these other guys. Jason San Diego, Wiley King. Herman Reese will be 4th. Remember, we haven't really seen how much pace he has ever since that early incident.
It has looked like he has enough pace to hold position wherever he is, but otherwise I think he's down a couple mile an hour in the draft, as we are back green here with 18 to go. Tyler Mallon to go.
the watermelon to go. Now that sounds more like Ross Chastain.
Anybody that restarted behind Steve Rubino has lost about half a second on the restart right now.
Oh, that's a big stack up. So we're all going to figure it out, though, which is good. Eddie Rayleigh up the track there a little bit.
See how aggressive KJ and Caleb get here. San Diego's going to take the race lead away from Steve Grant. I think Steve knows he needs to save a little gas, and leading is not going to be the way to save that fuel. Oh, Troy Donahue got really loose, and Ryan Johnson and him had a scare.
through the trouble corner here. Johnson ahead of the 81. The moment looks like everyone else going to navigate that safely. Here comes KJ on Herman Reese here for P4.
Getting help from Caleb Lingle. Yeah, Herman's definitely down a couple mile an hour or two there down the straightaway, even with draft.
Yeah, I think I see that hood's just still slightly buckled. That's a slide.
KJ with a bit of a slide, as you said.
Slide job. Now they'll try now Caleb's going to try to take it. Nope, does not force the issue quite yet.
He's got time. Got time. You know, you got the right side tire advantage by, 2 or 3 laps that have been run under green since the pit stop 10 laps ago. So you just got to make the move off the right corner.
Yep, just be patient with it.
Ooh, Rubino in the wall off of turn 3. Oh, Ken Hansen, Troy Donahue in the wall off of turn 3.
It's not going to help their straight line speed. But I'm going to send this very quick major shout out to Jason San Diego. Out here leading this thing. Guy who's... He's on and off fast, but... Man, do things go sideways for him very often, and sometimes literally. But he was sideways earlier, and yet he's found his way up here. He's had great speed, and he is now checking out a little bit on Steve Grant and company. Man, that'd be a heck of a result for one of the other Team Speedland guys, is Jason San Diego. He's got Steve still in second, Wiley King still third. And then it's KJ and Caleb. Fugate all over the tail of Herman Reese.
Caleb's like pushing KJ off into the corner. Caleb clutched it there. That's a little surprising.
I saw Fugate clutching it as well.
They might be a little close. Like I said, the guys that shift more than others, they can only really make it 18 laps. But if you're not shifting, you're going to save that lap. That's why KJ, I believe they're off of turn 3, was just in 4th gear the whole time. Caleb was in 3rd.
Yeah, I don't know if...
KJ is not shifting to 3rd gear in turn 3.
Maybe that's what's keeping Caleb right on his tail.
Yeah, Caleb's getting a huge run off the corner, but then if he doesn't make the move with that run, KJ's just obviously going to just stay in the draft. Yeah, Caleb is now kind of hurting himself because now he has to clutch and he's burning that right front off a little bit more. That advantage that he had over KJ by taking 2 is dissipating that tiny bit.
But KJ still has to pass all 3 of these guys in front of him. I can tell it seems like he's pretty content at the moment. I'm sure also him keeping it in 4th gear is just kind of keeping him in that position. Steve still...
well, the 3 in front of him, the 3 guys in front of him, except for San Diego, they are shifting in turn 3. So that's why they are, King and Grant, they are driving back away from KJ off of turn 3. Lingle now there, you see the move, but look, no draft, and all that run disappears. And then down that whole front straightaway, he's burning more gas because he's got all the air hitting the front of his car. Fugate, though, now up to 6, passing Reese. 13 to go there that time at the line.
And Ryan Johnson also got by Steve Rubino there. He may actually look to try to close in on all these guys in front of him. He just ran a great lap.
Here's a crazy stat. Because of where Herman qualified and the damage he got, Herman just ran his fastest lap of the race, and it was still only a 50.9. That's how you can tell that car is a little beaten.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be holding on to 7th there very long. Ooh, that's a close one there with Steve Grant. We'll see if he's maybe going to look to try to make something happen. Now, with the strategy that these guys are committed to, these top 3, are they going to be able to make it?
You know what's crazy is I think I see Caleb clutching more than the top 3 are.
I saw Steve throw it in there, but yeah, I'm with you. He's doing it way more than any of these guys. I don't think these top 3 are going to make it. I think they know that. I think they're hoping for a caution.
They would have to pit around 2 or 3 to go at this current stage.
Ooh, KJ. Fake. But yeah, I think these guys are just like, well, we'll just run it out until it's gone. I think that they were banking on this turning into a bit of a caution fest like you and I were talking about, and that is not happening as of yet. So with 11 laps to go, I think that they're hoping for a yellow.
And Caleb got a little draft help that time down the front from Fugate, but not quite enough to stay next to KJ. This is a little bit of cat and mouse right now. KJ's got a pretty good run here off of turn 1. He's going to make the move on Wiley King. Wiley is going to let him have it.
And let him throttle a little bit. Well, Caleb thought about trying to take advantage. KJ just shift right there?
He did indeed. Yeah, he threw it in third gear there through turn 2. I think KJ has saved the gas he needs, and now he's ready to go.
Coming to 10 laps to go here at Pocono.
Except he does not shift the third gear in turn 3, though, as much as it looked like he was ready to go.
I wonder if that's a setup thing, too. Maybe the things, like, we know how loose KJ loves to run it. Maybe it's too loose for him to get it down to third gear. Otherwise, he'd be in trouble. Oh, my goodness. Wiley's right on him. And all these guys. Man, it's making me nervous.
He's downshifted into third gear again there through turn 1. Yeah, it might be a setup thing. He might have it too loose. He might have it so loose that it's great in 1 and it's great in 2, but then it is too loose to be in third gear.
Oh, he's trying to get moved on by Wiley King and Caleb in it.
2.
Fugate.
Oh,
he's going to hit the wall.
Inside wall. Yep. Oh, my goodness. Right back up the track. Oh, Rick Castle's around.
Everyone missed the 9.
Minefield. Oh, Irv Johnston. Oh, Troy Donahue. Clobbers Fugate. He couldn't see him through the smoke.
Oh,
right
my
before
Lord.
that happened, I was thinking, man, there's a lot of smoke. Visibility is going to be tight. And sure enough. And they are going to have another restart.
And the 2 heavy hitters are done. They're not done, but they're out of contention.
That was
Holy
strange.
moly.
I think KJ got loose.
Man, yeah, he either suffered from the curve that you were talking about, or he had help. I think he had help.
He got loose and then he got run over.
Let's see.
Well, let's see. Maybe Wiley might have just overdriven the corner. Let me take a look here.
Why that let me see that again. It looked like KJ was like bobbling all the way into the corner.
KJ hit the wall or scraped the wall right before he went into turn 2, and sometimes that can be enough to distract your focus for that very split second. So I don't know. It looks like KJ was potentially going to spin out regardless, so he was trying to catch it. And Wiley was just so close that there was no time to react. And then, I mean, they're all just so close. Like, Caleb checks up, but Fugate has no time to react to him. And then Herman is going low to miss it, and he gets into Fugate. And Fugate did not lock it down right away, and he clobbers the wall, gets sent right back up the track. And then there is just a smoke field off of the corner.
And then the smoke, KJ also got walloped.
KJ hit the gas a little, getting ready to go, and then noticed more people were coming, and he got clipped barely by Irv Johnston. And then Troy, oh my God, Troy just went full throttle into the 9. Like he never knew he was there, or he just saw him too late and he just accepted his fate.
We're going to have a look at what happened in the 9 here in a moment. I'm on helicopter view slow-mo. And while, yeah, there was contact with the 95 and the 029, that 029 was, yeah, not a happy car going into that corner. And, yeah, I just think that Wiley just wasn't ready for it. I think it's just a bad racing deal there. Caleb actually got spun off of the 9's bumper, and then the 9 bounced into the 73. And there, yeah, there's the hit for Fugate in the inside wall.
Okay, so Fugate might be partially to blame for Troy running into him because Fugate still had a car running, and right before, if you watch from Fugate's cockpit, right before Troy comes through the smoke like he's a car out of a Final Destination movie, Fugate is on the gas pedal and he just turned across the track enough to where Troy was, Troy just kept his foot in it, and Fugate turned back across the racetrack enough to where Troy's line was compromised.
It's about that half lane. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the 49, he got into the 29. We're following Troy here.
If you have smoke turned on, just watch it from Fugate's cockpit because it literally looks like a scene out of a Final Destination movie.
Let's go ahead and do that.
81 car coming through the smoke, and you're just like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been that gung ho through that, but yeah, let's actually, yeah, we'll go on board with the 9 through the whole ride here because he's going to get a great view of everything. Here we go, roof cam, number 9.
Bob Gibson got caught up in that too. Bob Gibson hit the 9, and Irv Johnson went right through the whole mess.
Slam. Woo, and slam again. There's the 2 hits to the wall. There's all the smoke. And yep, he's just kind of creeping it down. Hello! Goodness. Oh, and he got hit again by Gibson. Yeah, that's not a pleasant feeling. Oh my lord. Those are some big dogs that just got taken out there. Wow. Wow. And in all that chaos, we just missed the fact that
everyone pit.
Everyone pit. And the new leader, oh my goodness, what a topsy-turvy top 5 we have now.
Wiley King took 2, Rayleigh took 2, Hansen took 2, San Diego took 4, Steve Grant took 4, Harry Kodian took 2.
Oh my lord.
Everyone, so Kodian, Hansen, Rayleigh, King took right sides only.
Top 4 on 2, everybody else on 4.
Oh, and Ryan Johnson got caught speeding. He's in the longest line.
We're going to have a very unexpected winner in this.
Ryan, I mean, so Wiley King, he got that win. What was it?
Nashville,
yes.
And Eddie Rayleigh
would be looking for his 3rd win of the year. Ken Hansen would be looking for his 1st. Harry, his 1st.
San Diego, his 1st.
San Diego, his 1st on 4. Steve Grant would be looking for his 2nd. Herman would need the whole top 6 to wreck because he's a little beaten.
We're coming to 5 laps to go. I agree with what Blaine said earlier.
Ends the race. Next caution ends the race. Remember that, Andrew.
Yep. I agree with Blaine. Someone needs to get the amber lamps out here.
Get the ambulance.
Where are the amber lamps? Be honest with me, Zach. Are we making it to the white?
No.
I agree.
I'm not a betting man, but if you told me to bet on it, I would be like, they're not making it. I'm sorry. Nope. Track record, trends. The trends say no, sir. They are not going to make it.
Larry McReynolds says no.
However, we are down to 17 cars. I mean, the 81 and the 9 are just sitting on pit road. I'm pretty sure they're dead. The 9 definitely looks dead to me.
I was gonna say, I cannot believe that he's still trying.
You've got Caleb with damage in 15th, KJ with damage in 16th, and Ryan Johnson with the end long line for speeding in 17th. I mean, it's anyone's game. I mean, I don't know if Wiley King has had clean air all night.
Yeah.
He might loop it. You never know. Sometimes you get a guy who's just been used to being in the dirty air all night. You get him in clean air, and he's like, "Holy cow, my car's loose!" And then whoop, around he goes.
I've been there once or twice. Oh my goodness gracious!
5 to go.
I have to
Next
go.
flag ends it.
Gloves are off. Game on. Nice restart. Very nice restart. Out of that 95. Ooh, I think Rayleigh may have just shredded a gear. Oh, they're going to split them. Still 3 wide, going into 1. Oh, sliding. Kodian up to 2nd already. Oh, he clears Hansen. He's losing it. That's going to be... I cannot believe he saved that.
Ken Hansen cut Eddie a huge break to let him catch that, but that let Kodian all the way up to 2nd. San Diego is in 3rd.
San Diego on 4 fresh tires. Coming to 4 to go this time. Here we go through the trouble corner. I'm keeping an eye through the rest of the field here. Caleb Lingle is shredding through guys like it's nothing. Everybody gets it through. Holy cow, that's a tough break for both Rayleigh and Hansen.
Herman Reese up to 5th after all that calamity.
Bumpalo 6th.
Harry all over the bumper of Wiley King into turn 1, about pushed them off into the corner.
But San Diego's there too with Steve Grant. 4 laps to go, coming up to turn 2. How patient are these guys going to be? Wiley's going to be driving the daylights out of that Pontiac.
Oh, Caleb almost wrecked Rayleigh off of turn 2, but they're straight.
Steve Grant for 3rd.
They're trying to get everything they can here through 3, because remember, 3 is the slowest corner. You get the best run off of 3. You'll have the best straightaway of your life down the front stretch. 3 to go. King still leads it.
Yeah, Kodian got a little high through that corner. He got a good run, but it's unfortunately not quite going to be close enough.
Ooh, Harry had to
looking
check
for
up
5th.
big.
Trying to kind of set it up
ran him over. Harry almost ran over King off into turn 1 again. That lets San Diego get right to his bumper. Steve Grant up to San Diego's bumper as they go off to turn 2 again.
Credit to these guys. They're doing a great job of driving hard, but keep it clean thus far. Emphasis on thus far. Here we go again. King doing a phenomenal job, I will say.
Harry trying to set up a crossover there. He went into 3 a tiny bit higher
run.
than King. He's got a good run.
He's going to be able to take advantage of it. Everybody gets through that corner again. KJ in the wall in the back. It is 2 laps to go. Here we go.
Goes. He's blocking
it. Around the outside.
Going to try to cross over. King's going to slide up the track here. Harry, can he get to his inside? He will. Side by side off of turn 1. Who does San Diego push? He's going with King.
Oh, that's going to be big for King if he's going to get clear. And I think not quite. Oh, just about took his bumper off. They're both going to drag it hard.
Oh, Wiley in the wall. Harry checks up. San Diego all the way down. Now they're all stacked up. Steve Grant might just run into someone here. Harry into the outside wall. Grant into the outside wall.
He's going to spin it. No, he's not.
Yeah,
he will.
That's going to end the race.
Wiley King with his 2nd win of the season. Yellow and white flag. Still wrecking back there. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Eddie Rayleigh. Oh, he almost got murdered by Randy Smith. I'll tell you what.
Oh. What a finish. Even if it is going to be under yellow. And look who finished 3rd.
And no fault to Steve Rubino there at all. I mean, Harry comes all the way off the wall, right down in his way, and Steve just had barely enough time to even crack the throttle. And I mean, if you just slam the brakes there to let Harry come back down, you're probably just going to spin yourself out. So, I mean, nothing really Steve could do there. I mean, I tell you what, I'm not a betting man, but when they got all bunched up behind Wiley off of turn 2, I was like, they're not making it through turn 3.
I'm with
If
you. I knew it wasn't going to happen.
if they had made it through turn 3, it would have been a bloody miracle. But it was not going to happen that time. They were lucky.
Almost did it.
They were lucky on the first lap of the restart that they didn't wreck down the Long Pond straight.
Yeah, I credit to these guys for making it as far as they did. They almost had it even at that point, but yeah, you're coming off the wall like that. There's only so
Shut
much
up,
you can
Blaine. Blaine, don't you dare make fun of my accent. I see you. I see you in there.
do. Is that what he's doing?
Yep, he's making a New England joke.
To the checkers, and for the second time this season, it is Wiley King. Boy, who had that on their bingo card? But hey, he was always lurking.
How
One
about
of
Herman
those
Reese?
consistent runs. Yeah, I was pointing him out. So who finished third? Herman,
got
great recovery.
Golden horseshoe in his car to rebound to a third after all that. Ricky Bumbleow, fourth. That's Bumbleow's third top 5 on the year.
Steve Grant still held on to fifth, even after he got in the wall.
You had Steve Rubino with the 7th place run. That is Steve's only second top 10 on the year. Good run for Steve. Rick Castle there with the top 10. That's Rick Castle's 7th top 10. Rick's still looking for that first top 5.
Steve Grant just spun Wiley King.
That's okay.
And yeah. Those two are teammates. They can get away with it.
Tell you what, though, deciding moment. Jason San Diego opted to push Wiley King down Long Pond straight when Harry Codian had made the move off of turn 1 for the race lead. And then they were side by side through turn 2. And they almost crashed there. That stacked them all up. Harry and Steve went off into turn 3 and they just sent it off in there too deep. Both of them got in the wall. And ultimately it was Harry Codian who came off the wall down in front of the 07 of Steve Rubino, who did not have enough time to react. And that ended the race, coming to the white flag. Wiley King, your winner. Can he burn it down on this script up track? That's the question. I found the way to do it Sunday. He's going to
he's doing it in reverse.
Hey, a little bit of a Derek Justice burnout right there.
It's up against the wall. Oh, that's cool.
You know my favorite thing to do, and I always forget to do it, because usually at the end of a race, it's the easiest way to just strip first gear, put it in reverse, back up till you hit like 20 miles an hour, and then throw it back in first. If you have an H pattern, you can do this easily. You throw it into first gear from reverse at 20 miles an hour, and you just do like a backwards burnout, and then you can go back straight through the smoke.
We're gonna have another look at the second to last lap there.
Wiley in chat. I'd like to thank Papyrus, he said. Papyrus, he spelled it wrong.
Yeah, everybody's just sent it so hard there through 2. That's where we got Wiley in the wall, and yeah, once everyone started scattering here, I'm like, oh, there's no way. Yeah, there goes Harry up the track. And yeah, he's trying to hold on to it. But yeah, there's not a lot that Rubino could have done there. Almost got error there, did Harry? Oh, Rayleigh almost had it missed. He just powered through the start-finish line there. And we'll still finish 11th.
So if you don't mind, we've got our third place finisher waiting in the waiting room. I would like to take the helm on this interview. I've got some pretty good questions lined up for our boy Herman Reese.
All right, I think we can do that. But wild stuff here at Pocono. A lot of ups and downs there, but awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I will just very quickly just kind of mention, we kind of talked about the top 10 there and the top 5. Caleb Lingo got 6. Rubino Castle, Ryan Johnson, Ken Hansen, the top 10. Rayleigh Smith, KJ, Herb Johnson, Duke Sorensen, Eric Codian, and then finishing 9 laps down a piece with Troy Donahue and Fugate, still classified. Jeff Stacanis, Monty Keller, Dan Rubino, Charlie Trusty, Mark DeSenza, Greg Stenzo out of the race prematurely. We've got Herman Reese waiting for us here. Boy, what an up and down day he had. Let's see how it went for him.
User was moved to your
Just
channel.
confirm, Herman, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right on,
Hey,
Zach,
Herman.
I'll let you go.
Herman, man, how'd you get third tonight? Like, what happened? Like, I saw you down there in 15th all night after that early stuff went down. Talk us through the adventure of your race, man.
Yes, it was an adventure. When you sometimes when you play with the squirrels, you get your nuts cracked. So I messed up in qualifying. I decided I was going to start in the back, and I could not been more casual, and I still got run over. And then when Mark spun, no, I'd never caution never come out until he was just sitting in front of me, and we dove for the same real estate, and I was slow all night. It go through the corners, it would not go down the straightaway, and I was just like, wow, if I can get a top 10 out of this and try and make up some points. And I tuned her up on that last stop, and I can't believe the 95. I don't know if he pitted. I just didn't believe he was making on gas, but good. I mean, good job for those guys. But it was getting pretty hairy. I knew with Harry Codine up there, he going for his or Codiana, he was going for his first win this season. He was going to really, and they were going to shake some things up. And I just got fortunate twice to be in the right place at the right time after not being all night, being in almost every wreck up until then.
Right on. I gotta ask, for that second wreck, it looked like, you saw the smoke in front of you, and it looked like from where I was sitting, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it looked like you maybe tried to jab the brake and the car just jerked to the left on you. You mentioned going for the same real estate as Mark was kind of just spinning down the track. When you jabbed the brake there, was that because of the bias that you run, that it caused your car to jerk left like that, or maybe a caster setting?
No,
or were you just trying to go down there?
No, I turned. I was trying to go there. When we approached 3, he was sitting right in the middle of the track. This track is so dark, and even with your gamma up, it's hard to see. And he's sitting in the middle of the track, and I saw somebody above him got up in the fence to avoid him, and then I was going through the grass either way, and I think, and I have to go back and look at it, but I think Mark was trying to get himself out of harm's way, and it hurt. And but the thing that we go down pit road, and they hit it 3 times.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, I'm okay. And no, I didn't have any straightaway speed, and I got tied behind a couple guys past me, took advantage of my damage, but I was so fast through the corners. That green flag pit stop, I made up a lot of positions with strategy. And then I just I think what happened was I was planning on going and topping off. And when everybody pitted, I said, "Oh hell, I can make it from here. I know I can do 19 laps." And so I stayed out, and I picked. That was just a fortunate break. And there's a little joke we have running with Caleb is if you do the opposite of Caleb, you're probably in the best way, because Caleb has had a lot of bad luck where he'll be the only guy to pit while leading. So it's been like a running joke for the last few seasons for him. But just very, very fortunate. I got up there and 3 teammates. And I really I'm not saying or controversy, but I think that they were really nice. I think Steve Grant or Jason could have probably gone up there. Both had 4 tires. And I don't know if they have team orders. We don't have team orders on our deal. It's hell, we wreck each other just as much as everybody else. So
I will say there was a moment there. I don't know if you could see it from your vantage point, where Harry got his run off of turn 1, went to the inside of King, and then Jason said, "I'm just going to push the 95 down the straightaway. I'm not giving you anything." And Wiley was able to clear, and then we had all that hell break loose off of turn 2 into turn 3 there.
And that kind of stuff I expect. My guys do it for me, and I do it for them. The hard part was, I don't know if you could see it there, but there was a moment where Harry was going to make a move on him, and Wiley's car was 5 wide. It starts glitching.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of the glitching.
Yeah.
Yep. It's I know everybody has problems through time, but it is so hard to race around that. especially when you're up front, and I don't blame Wiley. He should have stayed out, but it catches you off guard. You're so focused in that, and we're talking about split second reactions to these guys. You see that and you react, and next thing you know, you're off the gas or you're up in the fence. And I didn't see the last wreck all the way. I was at the right place, right time, and I knew it was coming. I just hope I wasn't in it, kind of thing.
And to that point, real quick, and then I'm going to turn this over to Andrew if he has any questions for you. I do not care whether I run low grip like game tracks or if I run a track like this where it's gripped up. But the faster you're going, the less time you have to react, and you could see that tonight, especially through turn 2.
Yeah, I agree. I personally, I hate the gripped up tracks, but we ran here Sunday night and had an absolutely fantastic 2-wide race. And to be honest, I have nothing bad to say about this track because, you were able to run 2 wide through 3, 2 wide through 1, 2 wide through the tunnel. The racing was really, when we raced, it was pretty good.
Right
Yeah,
on.
I would agree to that. I was just going to say, considering what happened with qualifying there, and the early deals that you got involved in, even if a little luck had to fall your way after some of the luck that you've had as of late, I think that seeing you get a third place here tonight had to have been a good rebound, no matter the circumstances for you. So you got to feel at least a little better about that. Things finally turned around a little bit.
Yeah, last week, I went in to top off for fuel. My strategy was, I know those guys, if you get another quick caution, they're all going in. I'm just going to stay out. And I came out of pit road and I pushed in the clutch. I didn't even have any RPMs and the motor just blew up. And I was like, not again.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they said, you tape it up. I said, no, I just went and got gas. I didn't even take tires. So, I've had some bad luck here. Running up front every week, though. I mean, that's the thing. And I was fast last night and fast in practice, but I told the guys I didn't feel that I was as competitive as we've been. We were really fast. The 4 of us tonight. Keith's on vacation. And when it just goes to show you screw up in qualifying, sometimes and that's what they asked me about. I said, well, I kind of screwed up. I put myself back here, and that's the chance you take. If you make it, here's the one great thing is if you make it through the horror, being back there, you have an advantage with your pit stall. So it's it's 50-50 toss up. I prefer being up front.
Quite understandably so, but hey, regardless of how it happened, you got yourself up to third. You'll extend that point lead once again just a little bit, and we got Atlanta next week, so
10-4.
Looking forward to seeing what you'll be able to do there. So great to be able to talk to you once again. It's been a little bit, but I will be talking to you more again this season, I'm sure.
I think Steve Grant's probably going to have to get some therapy. Every time he's got me in a chokehold, he can't make up any ground on me. So last week he had me in choke, and then he gets wrecked, and he finishes just a few spots in front, and it's been a good season. I mean, we've had so many different winners and multiple winners. It's been very competitive this year, and I'm glad you guys are here broadcasting it, and thanks for that.
Hey, that's not a problem. We love doing it. I'm just glad that you guys have us on board. Of course, as always, before we let you go, whatever you want to close the thoughts to be, shout outs, whatever you want, you know the drill.
Thanks. I want to say thanks to Pizza. Troy Donahue, he sponsored tonight's event, and thank you to him. Thanks to Hobo Racing. Great run for Steve Rubino, who last night basically after about 10 minutes said, I'm terrible here, and he said, and went to bed, and he finished 7th. And to the team, I mean, say hi to Keith out on his Pride cruise. Hope he's doing okay. And team put forward a good effort. KJ led a lot of laps tonight, and it was a good thing. And thanks to you guys. And hopefully I get to talk to you again next week.
Hey, hopefully so. We'll be looking for you. And until then, though, hey, just count your horseshoes and take it for what you got, man. But great run tonight.
Thanks. Keith's going to kill me for that Pride comment. That has been a joke all week. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you, man. Reese,
User left your
very
channel.
great finish there, despite the circumstances. Next guy we're going to get in here. I don't think I've talked to. No, I haven't. We have not talked to this guy yet this season. Jason Santiago, runner-up.
User was moved to your channel.
And there he is. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there in your conversation, but Jason, do you copy?
How's it going? I'm not used to being up here. I don't know what to do.
Hey,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
first time that we've had you up here, man, and I think finally a result you deserve. You've had speed.
Top 5. This is first top 5 of the year.
Yeah, and it's a runner-up. Even after early trouble, you found yourself back up there, and dang, did you have some speed there at the end. I'll just ask you, take me through those final 5 laps there of trying to figure out what to do with Wiley. You had Harry up there. Pretty sure that you were on 4 tires, so yeah, just kind of talk me through what it was like trying to navigate that.
Well, I had that early incident, lap 1, where I got stuck on the wall and then spun. So I had to take 2 tires early in the race to get track position, and it got a little tight towards the end of the run. So I decided to take 4. I knew some people were going to take 2, but I decided to take 4, and had to race back up there. Luckily, there was a few incidents, close calls up in front of me that I got some spots, and then Harry got into the wall there, and I got that spot. But I had, I was running up front most of the night, so
yeah,
it's one of my better tracks.
You had phenomenal speed there. You were up there fighting amongst your Speedland guys there, Wiley and Steve Grant. Of course, as we said, Harry kind of being up there in the mix too. I guess I'll just ask you, did that influence how you raced a little bit there, being basically surrounded by all the Speedland boys?
Yeah, well, I took some time off after the rough start, so I'm not really up there in the points, so I didn't want to get into Wiley or anything like that. But, I just want to get the best finish I could. But I took a few weeks off, kind of reset, came back. I was kind of a little disappointed with that first incident, but it worked out. So hopefully the finishes will be a little better here.
Hopefully get some momentum going heading into Atlanta. I'll turn it over to Zach for any questions. If you got anything.
Man, I should. I think I burned all the mental energy I had left for Herman. Jason, as you said, you took a few weeks off. How good does it feel to get a finish like you did tonight?
Feels about what I expect usually, but that doesn't work out.
Fair enough.
And there was no, like you said, you didn't want to do anything to maybe hurt Wiley's race there at the end. So your call in your head there was, I'm just gonna push him down the straightaway. I'm not gonna give any draft to Harry, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I knew as soon as I tried to pass Harry, he was gonna go a block or something, and I just wanted to get a good finish. I don't want to wreck there at the end. So I know Steve was waiting for me to make a move on Harry, but that's always a little dangerous. So I just tried to wait it out.
Right on.
Perfectly fair, man. But finally, a deserved result for that 22 machine. That car has had a lot of speed, so it is wonderful to see. So awesome job. I know I say that about a lot of guys, but the honest truth is, yeah, there are guys that run incredibly well and have great speed and just don't have the results to show for it. So it's great to see you get a result that you seriously deserve there. So nicely done. But I'll let you go. You can go ahead there.
I was just going to say thanks.
And not a problem, man. As we always do with anyone that we interview, any closing thoughts, shout outs, whatever you got, we let you have the floor here for a moment. So have at it.
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates, Team Speedland, for holding down the fort while I was gone and running good and making the highlights. And Steve Rubino for keeping the league going, giving us a place to race.
And that it?
I guess that's it.
Didn't want to make sure I didn't cut you off there. But hey, phenomenal race. Awesome job. Way to get back up there. Even even when it seemed like you were down. You got back up there and you fought well. So best of luck heading into Atlanta. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again very soon.
Thanks a lot.
Gladly, man.
User was moved out of your channel.
Was our runner-up, Jason San Diego. First, as you said, Zach, first top 5 of the season for the number 22. Speaking of number 2s, with 22s, it's win number 2
User was moved to your
for this
channel.
guy, Wiley King. Wiley, do you copy?
Hey, Andrew, what's happening? You too, Zach, what's up?
Glad to be able to talk to you again, man. Second win of the season. Even if it was in pretty crazy circumstances, that race was so topsy-turvy at so many points. But at the end of the day, man, it came down to you, and you executed beautifully in that number 95, kind of similar to Nashville when you had to execute when it mattered. And you pulled it off. But I'll just ask you, talk me through those final 5 laps. What the heck was going through your mind when you had all those speed lane guys behind you and Harry Codian back there too?
Well, I figured there'd probably be a little controversy there. I didn't mean to, get into KJ. It looked kind of like a warp on my end, but yes. I was praying for a caution there about 3 to go. I was like, somebody better call a caution.
Yeah,
It
looked more like KJ maybe got a little loose in front of you and had to check up a little extra bit. I didn't really see much warp or lag from you on that one.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing, I was just trying to keep Harry behind me. That's all, So it's glad to see a teammate got up there second. Well, we had 3 of us in the top 5, so that was good.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I mean, yeah, me and Zach were really looking at that with KJ. To me, it just looked like, yeah, KJ was really squirrely going into the corner, and yeah, you guys were just hard racing there. I wouldn't really call that anything more than just a racing deal myself, but no, regardless though, I mean, again though, the execution was there out of that 95. I guess I'll just ask you kind of what it was like driving the track, especially with the 3 different corners. Pretty gripped up version. It seemed like that thing was hooked up pretty darn good. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always liked Pocono. It's always been one of my favorites, but I don't like all these FSC tracks and all that stuff. I'm always up for running the original, CD tracks myself. But kudos to my, team captain Steve. He shared a setup, and it was really good. It's having a little bit of issue on the restarts, but kind of came out. I didn't have anything for KJ or Caleb or a couple other guys that were up there. I didn't have anything for them, so I just had to pull out some strategy to pick up the win and just cross my fingers and keep the throttle in it.
You sure as heck did. That is for darn sure. Zach, what you got for Wiley?
Yeah, Wiley. So second win of the year for you. How does this affect your standing for the chase at all? Does it help you to get this second win? I'm a little unfamiliar with the chase format, so.
I believe it's a win and you're in up to I think they take the top 12. It might be the top 16. I'm not sure, but anything after that's a win and you're in. But I think you have to run at least half the races of the year. I believe that's how it's run. You might want to talk to Steve Rubino about that. I'm not real sure. We've been racing this league for so many years, man. We're just in there, just race and try to win. Ain't no point in racing if you're not trying to win.
Right on that one. But yep, you are now officially added to the multi-time winners club this season. You're in some pretty darn good company there, including guys like Herman Reese, like Keith, like Jeff Stakanis, and Ryan Johnson, Andy Rayleigh, and now yourself. So and Fugate. So that's a pretty good group that you're joining right there, man. You should be proud.
Yeah, this one felt pretty good. It's for wrecking out KJ, but I think Caleb got wrapped up in that wreck too. I hate to see that, but I guess a win's a win.
Hey, win's a win. You take that W however you can get them. Awesome job. You drove well. Great job. And Hey, hopefully we'll see more of that in Atlanta. But before we let you go, of course, closing thoughts, shout outs, whatever you want to do, man. The floor is yours.
I don't really have much to say, man. Appreciate you guys doing a good job on the broadcast and whatnot. And the Rubino brothers hosting this league for however many years. It's been a long time. I think we've been running with them for easily over 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. So just, see you next week.
And we'll see you next week. Indeed, man. It's Atlanta. Best of luck. Hopefully we get to talk to you again.
Yeah, I got to get used to this kind of thing.
Just keep it up, man. And we'll be able to talk to you again soon enough, I'm sure of it. Great job tonight.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Gladly.
Insufficient permissions.
Can't move him there.
User was
There we
moved
go.
out of your channel.
Oof. Zach, that had a little bit of everything. We had some chaos. We did have some good runs in there. I think the only thing we were missing were green flag pit stops, but my goodness.
We did have those.
Oh, we
What do you
did?
mean?
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. We did. Jesus.
You already hot flashed the race out of your memory?
I'm hot something else. It's freaking hot in here. That's why the fan's on again.
Well, how about you buy an air conditioner?
We do have an air conditioner.
Then don't say fan.
I mean, I'm not putting an air conditioner right in this room. That'd be noisy as heck. But
I mean, mine's been running the whole race and you didn't hear it.
well, that's also because you got a quality microphone.
True.
Zach Rogers is the superior broadcaster to me.
Hey, you do good. You do fine. I'm just here to bolster the ratings.
I'm just here to have fun. We all know that. I've said that before, and that's just what I'll keep saying. As long as these guys are having fun with me and everyone's watching having fun with me, that's what it's all about there. But
Hey,
I had fun tonight.
At least you've got me being excited with my accent coming out. Not so sure you would have gotten the same excitement from somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of a kind, baby.
Ooh, subtle burn. We're all having fun. Hey, great job. Great job. You did do a great job. Jesus. I need to go to bed. But before I do, your closing thoughts. My goodness.
A great race. It was not looking good there the first 25 laps, but they got it together. They gave us a good 20-lap run, and then they gave us another. Oh, there was a quick yellow, and then there was another quick yellow, and then there was another good run, and then we had the crazy finish. Assuming some people are likely a little frustrated with how their races ended. I'm sure maybe Fugate would be one of those. KJ and Caleb, of course, had the race come out from under them there right at the end. But at this point in the season, for a lot of these guys, they're just trying to get some extra wins before the chase begins. If that helps their playoff seeding whatsoever, I do not know. But yeah, they are off to Atlanta next week. Thankfully, they do not run Super Speedway Atlanta. Yuck. I am stuck running Super Speedway Atlanta on Sunday. But we ball. And yeah, it was a fun night.
Fun night is always had when Zach Rogers is in the booth, and we're calling HOBO Series Night in America. That was awesome.
We got to call it something else.
I admittedly stole that from Alex because he always says Sprint Series Night in America whenever it's his Sprint Series.
Everybody calls it some night in America. Man, get your own term, man.
Own thing. We could call it Hobo Night in Hoboken.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good at all.
Hobo Night in Canada. Blaine's up here.
They're not racing in Canada, though. All the drivers are from U.S.
True. Very true.
At least I think all of them are. That's what I see on the driver roster anyway. Everyone looks like they're from the U.S. Well, they did have that one guy from New Zealand tonight, though he did not race.
No, yeah. Hey, got a gentleman in practice, but did not partake. Hey, always love to see it expand, even if it's just that little bit.
Let
Although,
me
yeah,
out there. Let me get on track.
Hey, if these guys let you.
Put on a show. Only if they let me bypass trucks, because Sunday nights are taken for me. So we'll have to negotiate that one. Maybe next year. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm happy to be up here in the booth with you.
It's good fun. Looking forward to Atlanta next Tuesday night. Of course, yep. Sunday we are off for the booth, but then we'll be back the following Sunday. That'll be the Chicago Street Race, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we'll bring you guys coverage of that for Fast. And actually, I believe that it is next Thursday, the 3rd. We'll be bringing you guys some more CCR coverage. Almost forgot about that. We will be back to CCR on Thursday, July 3rd. So tune in for that. Until then, though, thank you, Zach, once again for being up here. And a massive congrats to Wiley King. Win number 2 on the season.
Right on, brother.
We'll see you guys in a week's time from Atlanta. Until then, stay cool, stay hydrated, take care,
Stay frosty.
stay frosty, as frosty as you can in this weather.